Trump is about to reinstate child labor laws. I don't think you fucking hear me. Trump and the Republicans are about to reinstate child labor laws. Okay, Iowa has already reinstated it. Florida has already reinstated it. It's a reason why Trump went from the dependents being 18 down to 7. If you think I'm lying, you better go read those laws because they are coming back. All right? They sent all them damn immigrants who was picking them fruits and vegetables for a little bit of nothing. They feel like why would we have them pick them? Because they don't want them in our country when we got all these goddamn kids that can pick it. Because back in 1908, the kids worked. Come on now. The kids worked at like 9. So ain't that kind of funny how he took it from 18 to 7? Ain't that funny? Because they're self-sufficient, right? I don't think y'all understand it. Ain't it funny that he's changing the education department, right? So what he's doing with that is, right, hold on, wait, listen. He's making vouchers. Vouchers are going to work for private schools, right? Eventually, public schools are not going to be able to get that funding, so public schools are going to close. So when the public schools close, those 7-year-olds, because, come on now, they start kindergarten around, 7? They're going to be able to work because they ain't doing nothing else. They ain't going to school. You might as well put them back to work, right? Teach them that. If we can teach them how to read and write, we can teach them how to work. I think y'all, yeah. In Iraq, they changed the marriage law down to 9 years old. And if you think I'm lying, go research that shit. They're not playing. This shit is fucking wild. Trump is trying to put us back down to like 1908, and 1853. He is literally trying to take us back there. That shit is going over y'all motherfucking head.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Key, and I've been strolling on TikTok and I'm in disbelief. Trump is out of his effing mind, and I'm just gonna say it like that. The audacity of him to even take shit this far is insane. But we're gonna get into these clips and just see what's going on, because he's all over the place with these bills. Let's get into it, y'all.
Immigrants, but they're the ones who pick the fruits and vegetables upon which the Florida economy depends. But I have a solution. We're changing the law so children.
A new child labor law has gone in effect in Iowa this weekend.
We've been weakening our society since before my time. I started working at like 13 years old, a full-time job.
They're changing those child labor laws in front of everybody's eyes. But then it's people like this that's like, oh no, she putting out fake news. No, I'm trying to make you understand that this shit is about to be legal in all 50 states. I don't give a fuck what they say. Besides Texas. Because Texas do whatever the hell they want to do. Texas ain't no bandwagon. But most of these other states are fucking bandwagons. Once they see that it works in Iowa and Florida, do you think for a fucking second that they're not going to follow? I need you to wake the fuck up. I need you to wake the fuck up. Because, baby, it's always fun and games until it ain't fun and fucking games no fucking more. Trump is changing the dependent age from 18 to 7. So I just need to know in August, are we sending them back to school or are we sending them to work? Because if the dependent age is now 7, you trying to say they dependent. If I'm not mistaken, back in the day, they used to work at that age, right? So is he trying to tell us that they need to go back to work? Because I don't think Trump know that these kids ain't regular kids. These kids will flip out if they ain't got they tablets. Now, is we putting them in IT? Is we teaching them kids how to code? They might like that. They might like that. We're going to have to figure out them some jobs because they ain't going to do regular jobs. They barely listen to them teachers. Like, these employers is about to catch hell. They going to be babysitters. And don't put me at the same company as my kids. I don't want to work with them. I already got to be with them at home. Like, y'all done already took them out of school, so now y'all want them to work. And then don't put them as the same company as me. Like, this ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. Like, and how much is you paying these kids? Because if you my 7-year-old he needs to get paid well. He can't work for pennies. So that ain't gonna work either. Then you can't even disrespect that kids Cause now they gotta leave their job to go to this job. They gonna probably, oh my Lord, Trump ain't thinking this out. He ain't thinking this out clearly. And then the big families is definitely gonna get the most, like, to hit the most. Like, all, like, them single parents, they got like 8, 9, 10 kids. They gonna feel it the most.
Why Florida considering getting rid of the child labor laws or lifting the child labor laws? Because all of the jobs that the undocumented immigrants had, they can't fill them. Let me get this straight. You got rid of undocumented immigrants, and now you can't find bodies to do these jobs. So your thought was, how about we make the workforce younger? We allow people as young as 14 years old to be able to work overnight. They don't... School? Who cares about school? They're making me money. Those kids don't need to get rest. They stay up all night playing video games anyway. They might as well work. Instead of the adults who just happen to be in the country illegally. Instead of getting those adults the proper citizenship, that way they can continue to do the work, we're just going to get rid of them and then make children do it. So we can groom them and they can become the type of people we want them to be. Right. Somebody come tell my 14-year-old that they got to work overnight on a Tuesday. You would never see it again.
Trump said you are no longer obligated to make 3 times the rent in order to move somewhere. Now, y'all, that just didn't make sense to me, because a while back I was trying to figure out, like, I know they're trying to make it to where, oh, we want to make sure that you are able to, pay your bills and still provide for yourself at the same time, so there's no excuses as to why you shouldn't be able to pay rent. But come on, man. I think a lot of landlords is finna be ticked off and mad because of the simple fact, if your rent is $1,700, let's say the rent $2,000, you want me to make $6,000 a month? You want me to make $6,000 a month just to be able to pay $2,000 a month in bills? It really doesn't make sense to me. So I know a lot of landlords ticked off and they finna be mad because that's law. And I don't give a damn what people say, oh, well, Trump can't tell the landlord what to do. Hey, if Trump put a law in effect and he says it's law, y'all. If Congress passes it, a lot of people about to be in trouble. God bless y'all, man.
Trump said you can only get on Section 8 if you're a veteran or a disabled person. Now listen, I agree. If you are of sound mind and good health, you need to get up and figure it out just like the rest of us. Stop having kids so you can ride the wave. The government shouldn't have to help you. At the end of the day, we're all independent. We can get up and grind. Do it like I do it. What do you mean? Why not? We're sick of people just riding the government's wave. Oh, don't worry about it. I'ma just get housing, pay half of my rent, and then use these food stamps. If I need more, I'ma just pop out another baby. What? What happened to go get it out the mud? What happened to work hard for what you want? What happened to that type of thing? You should leave that for people who really need it. People who are missing organs. People who have, they mentally can't, you know what I'm saying? People who need this type of help. Y'all don't. Let's be honest, y'all don't.
So Trump has signed a new executive order. This new executive order is very beneficial to families in America or American family. This new executive order is stopping landlords from asking for first month rent and last month rent. So landlords will no longer be asking for first month or last month. This is very beneficial because landlords are asking for 2 times more than the rent. And obviously it's just more than what the average person can afford. And people just simply have other bills to pay that just really stops them from being able to pay the first month and the last month rent that they're required. You have utilities, you have car insurance, phone bill, internet, loans, etc. And not to forget that we're currently in a recession right now, so life is not looking up to par. So honestly, this right now is very beneficial. It's cutting down some expenses when moving to a home, and now it's making it easier for us to be able to get into the home. Because a lot of us can get approved for a place, right? But when it comes to paying that money, it's just like, dang, that's a lot of money. Do I actually have that money to give? And when you don't have that money, you just simply have to wait another paycheck or 2 paychecks, who knows? But yeah, so this is very beneficial for the American families.
So we have breaking news coming in that President Trump's described big, beautiful budget bill has just passed the House after a marathon all-nighter debate. The bill passed with a 215-214 vote. That bill includes more money for defense and deportations, but cuts for Medicaid, Medicare, and SNAP benefits. It also keeps the president's tax structure from 2017 from expiring at the end of the year. The president's budget changes estimated to add nearly $4 trillion to the national deficit. The budget now moves to the Senate for a vote there.
Does anybody else find it really fucking weird that we are kicking out immigrants all while making it legal for 7-year-olds to work? At the exact same time lawmakers are trying to push immigrants out, you know, the people doing all the hard work around here, all the underpaid work all across the country, they're also lowering child labor laws and redefining dependents to just 7 years old. So let me get this straight. You want to get rid of the people building our homes, picking our food, and cleaning out our offices and replace them with fucking second graders? We're not building a better economy here. We're building child labor pipelines. Kids are not backup workforce, and immigrants are not disposable. If this doesn't scare you, you're probably not paying attention.
Donald Trump just fired Dr. Carla Hayden, the first black woman to ever serve as Librarian of Congress. And let's be clear, this wasn't about job performance. This was about power, fear, and control. See, Dr. Hayden is a career public servant who spent her life preserving knowledge, protecting access to books, and modernizing the Library of Congress for the people. She wasn't just a librarian. She was a guardian of American memory, and now she's gone. Fired by email, not by the president himself, but by some low-level political flunky sent to do the dirty work. Why? Because Trump doesn't want independent thinkers or defenders of history. He wants loyalty. He wants obedience. He wants silence. This is the second person this week Trump has fired after they testified to Congress. Let that sink in. He's punishing people for doing their job, for being transparent, accountable, and truthful. That's not leadership, that's psychological warfare on democracy. He's telling every federal employee, if you speak up, you're next. But it goes deeper than that. Carla Hayden's mere presence was power. A black woman appointed by Obama who dared to make knowledge accessible and inclusive, MAGA couldn't stand it. So right-wing extremists labeled her woke, accused her of pushing books they didn't like, and Trump responded not with facts, but with force. That's how dictators move. They erase what they can't control. And here's the sickest part. This is part of a pattern. He's trying to ban books, rewrite history, and replace qualified professionals with political puppets. He's turning government into a loyalty contest. If you're not willing to kiss the ring, you're fired. No debate, no process, just gone. This isn't just about Dr. Hayden. This is about every institution we depend on being gutted from the inside. Libraries, schools, FEMA, justice, all of it one by one. Because if Trump can destroy the truth, he can control the narrative. And if he controls the narrative, he controls you. But here's what they don't count on. Us. People who still believe the truth in books, in facts, in dignity. People who see through the manipulation. People who ain't afraid to call it what it is. A slow, deliberate assassination on democracy. Led by a man who fears knowledge more than he fears war. So don't be quiet. Tell them Carla Hayden is not the enemy. She's the example. Because when the people who protect truth get silenced, it's up to the rest of us to get louder.
I'm gonna say the meanest thing I could possibly say to these Trump voters posting self-pity videos because they're suffering due to his policies. Now, I don't do personal attacks, so I'm just gonna tell you the truth, because sometimes the truth hurts. You don't get to complain. You definitely don't get to complain about the lack of leadership or ideas coming from Democrats, because we didn't do this to us. You did this to us. If you and I are driving down the interstate together and you reach over and grab the wheel, and you steer us into a 200-foot deep ravine full of lava and sharks because you think big interstate is corrupt and you thought it would be funny to shake things up, when I scream at you as lava sharks eat our legs, you don't get to be mad at me for being mad at you, because it was my idea to stay on the interstate, and it was your idea that ruined everything for both of us. You don't get to ask what Democrats would do differently with the economy. You don't get to ask what Democrats are doing to help us right now. Those are 2024 questions, but we're in 2025 consequences. This era of the United States right now, this is about the president you elected, the cabinet secretaries your Senate confirmed, the cowering Republicans you elected to obey him in Congress, and all of the very real consequences resulting. We told you these things were going to happen and we gave you lots of warnings, but you grabbed the wheel anyway. If you want to know what Democrats would do differently, look at the track record going back to the Great Depression. Economic growth, job growth, wage growth, retirement plan growth, all of these things have been better under Democratic leadership than Republican. If you like these things, you vote for Democrats because it's what Democrats do. I don't care if you like the Democratic candidate. I don't even care if you understand how the policies work. And I'm not going to ask you if you believe me, because every chart and every graph that matters at the highest level for the middle class proves me right over the past 100 years. I'm only going to ask you that over the next year and a half, you come to grips with this fact so you don't make the same mistake again.
If you're black, stop scrolling, because didn't we agree that we were staying inside, right? This was their fight. Because it's not just her. It's her too. Now, if you're black and you're out there and you don't understand why this is not our fight, it's because, think about it. They just reenacted martial law 4 days ago. The Republicans, all Republicans in the House of Representatives just voted for U.S. citizens to be deported, including children with cancer. And if you don't believe me, go look it up. It's on video. Now when you think about all the rage bait, them deleting our historic contributions. Come on now. This is not your fight. Find a way to fight it in another way. We all agreed. We all agreed. Stay at home. Because what they're going to do is arrest you and make a narrative that's the same as it's been for BLM. Lock in. If you're black, stop scrolling.
They just voted. They being the other ones, not us, because we were all on the right side of history. They just voted to give Trump the ability, legally, to give him the ability to deport U.S. citizens. That is what they voted for. A bunch of elected U.S. representatives. That is how they.
I just got a whole bunch of questions. What type of crime does an American citizen have to commit to be deported to a whole nother country? What country will you be sending them to? What rhyme or reason will you be picking the country with? What demographic of American citizens is he gonna target first? That's what I wonder. I'm looking up and down on Google News and I ain't seen no articles or breaking news yet. When y'all gonna break that? How long will American citizens sit there and wait around till this day turn to get deported, or will they start saying something about it? Will U.S. citizens get their own concentration camp? Or will they be sent down to the El Salvador prison too? This the part of the rise into the dictatorship where you're able to fabricate all type of charges against your adversaries and your opponents and send them wherever you want to send them, be able to criminalize them and all type of thing. That's probably what we headed to, huh? All that stuff about freedom of speech and all that stuff about the liberal media doing X, Y, and Z whole time right now. This man just got legal jurisdiction to deport American citizens. Boots on the ground, blind dancers. I'm gonna go see Sinners though.
I truly don't know how it's going to affect each individual, but just make sure you have something in place for you and your family. Make sure you're trying to figure out, the education of your child, how you're going to continue to do so, private school, doing it from home. We're going to have to figure this out because Trump is obviously out his mind, and we can't function under dysfunction. So we're just going to have to figure this out on our own. We got to worry about ourselves and taking care of our families. We cannot be out here protesting. That is not going to be good for us, at least not in this moment. When the time is right, we all will know. But right now, the time is not right. We have to just sit down, pay attention, plan for the future, and just figure out all the options for our lives, because what's going on is crazy. And the fact that he hasn't been impeached yet is blowing my mind alone. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Let me know how you guys are planning to prepare. If you are planning to prepare, let me know what you think, because I'm all over the place with it. I'm really in disbelief.